Imagine you're a blaze, using your powers to control clocks, harness the power of the sun, and fight terrifying, mutated blazes for 100 days! On day 1, I spawned into the Nether as a baby blaze. Good morning, world! As a baby, I only had 3 hearts. Better watch my step. Or I guess float? I was with another blaze, who had a piglin captured.
Come on, son. It's time to kill this piglin.
No! I won't do it! I ran away before anything could escalate further. I flew until I couldn't anymore and stopped to rest. Suddenly, I was attacked by a group of piglins. If only you guys knew what a homie I was to you. I shot some fireballs to defend myself, but I wasn't strong enough. I had to run away. What a rough first day. I found a small cave to hide in and tried to get some sleep. On day 2, I began to explore the Nether. This place is a lot prettier than I remember. Out of nowhere, I was ambushed by a player.
Huh. I've never seen a baby blaze before. Whatever. I bet you still drop blaze rods.
The player began attacking me. I tried to fight back with my fireballs, but I just didn't have enough strength. Please just stop.
Wait. A blaze that can talk? Sick.
Please. I just spawned in, and I don't even have materials.
I got you, dog.
The player gave me a stone axe, pickaxe, and sword. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
If you ever need any more help, you can find me here.
He tossed me over a map to his base and left. What a cool dude. On day 3, I used my new tools to gather warp stem and netherrack. Time to start building. I used a combination of netherrack, warp stem, and warped planks to build a simple house. It was an okay start, but my plan was to expand it into a giant nether fortress. Not too shabby. As I was admiring my work, I heard crying in the distance. Oh no! Someone might need help! I investigated and found a baby hoglin. What's wrong, dude? We're in the same boat, buddy. How about we stick together? What's your name? How about we call you Hoagie? Yep. I decided to build a small additional room for him at the base, and we called it a night. That night, I had a dream. I was in a strange world, and a blaze was standing in front of me.
Max, can you hear me?
Who are you? Is this a dream?
I'm contacting you from the spirit realm. Listen to me. Let me guess. You don't feel the same aggression, the same rage as other blazes, do you?
No, of course not. I want to help people.
You are the true descendant of I, the one true blaze. I was the blaze who set out to unite all of this world's creatures.
What? Amazing! What do I do with that info, dough?
Seek out my 4 apprentices. They can train you and help stop your father.
My dad? Why?
You will see.
Suddenly, I woke up. What does my dad have planned? On days 8 through 11, I was starving. I guess even blazes have to eat. Hoagie tossed over some mushroom stew. How'd you get this? I ate it, transforming me into a full-size blaze. Whoa! As an adult, I now had 10 hearts. One step closer to defeating my dad. I was now full of energy, so I decided it was time to make a crafting bench and some chests. After that, Hoagie and I decided to add more to the base. I think I should go find some nether bricks. I set out in search of a fortress. I traveled for a while and through weird environments. Ah! I kept moving until I discovered a fortress in the distance. As I was about to enter, I was suddenly ambushed by ghasts.
Bet we can shoot fireballs better than you.
We'll see about that. I began to fight it out. They were good, but with my new strength, I was better. I managed to take down the whole group. I'm a fire master. After the fight, I felt tired, so I decided to return to the fortress another day. On days 12 through 15, I fought off a group of zombie piglins for rotten flesh. It's gross, but I have no choice. Afterwards, I returned to the fortress and began to gather as many nether bricks as I could carry. Nether brick for days. While I was mining, I heard the sound of my dad's voice in the distance and decided to investigate. What are you up to?
Phase 1 begins with this potion.
He drank the potion, transforming him into a mutant blaze.
Perfect.
Now the wildfires of the overworld can begin. You, grab as many men as you can. Time to start setting it ablaze.
With my new intel, I snuck away and began to head back home. How can he do this to the overworld? I knew I needed to seek out the overworld so I could help defend it, but how do I find it? Suddenly, I heard the player from before singing in the distance.
I wear a mask with a smile for hours at a time.
Wait, he can help me. I quickly ran to the source of the singing and pleaded with the player. Please, I need your help. Take me to the overworld.
No can do, man. I'm too busy.
Aw, man.
But here, take this.
He gave me some obsidian and flint and steel. Thanks, man. I headed back home, excited to use all the new materials I had gotten. Overworld, here I come. On days 16 through 20, I built a portal using the materials the player had given me. Here goes nothing. I traveled through the portal and found myself in the middle of the ocean. Not good, not good. Suddenly, a large merman swam up to me.
You must be Max. The spirit said you would come.
Are you a mermaid?
Merman, and an apprentice of the true Blaze. My name is Neptuno.
Sweet. Can you train me?
You start now.
And with that, my training began. First, Neptuno told me to avoid water since it hurts me as a blaze. Ah! How am I supposed to master the seas like this?
In due time, Max.
First, I did some parkour training by jumping on pillars arranged by Neptuno. Next, I survived whirlpool training, which increased my endurance in water. For my last task, I was given a trident, which I used to fight some mobs. Take this, zombies! Hi-ya! How did you get here anyway?
Great work today. And now, take this.
He gave me a charm that would negate water damage, as well as a map.
This map will lead you to your next test. Good luck.
Thank you so much. I'll do this as soon as I can. With my training complete, I left Neptuno. On days 21 through 23, I decided to further explore the overworld. This place is weird and has a lot less fire. I found a villager where I traded the last of my obsidian for food. After getting more food, I went mining for some iron and coal. While I was there, I gathered tons of cobblestone too. The overworld has so many cool materials. I used my cobblestone to craft a furnace and used it to smelt iron ingots. I then used my smelted iron to craft the chest plate and pickaxe. Now I'm feeling much more prepared. Lastly, I decided to gather some logs from the overworld to use for later. I started to head back home when I spotted a huge wildfire. Oh no, it's already started! Looming above the flames was my dad, shooting a massive beam all around him.
The laws of the overworld are Koreans. I vow that I will bring this world up into flames and rejoin it with the Nether.
I waited until he left and began to put out as much fire as I could. Afterwards, I returned home to regroup. You won't get away with this, Dad! On days 24 through 27, I used my nether bricks to make the base look more like a nether fortress. I also realized that only a small amount of the people watching were actually subscribed. Please change that. Looking good. Afterwards, I went mining for Crimson Stem. Things were going great, when suddenly I was approached by another blaze. Hey, what's wrong? Well, you're welcome to join my base. The two of us returned back home, and I quickly built her a room. After I finished building, I decided to return to the overworld again to explore some more. But when I arrived, it was raining. Ah! Water can fall from the sky? Even though my charm should have protected me, I didn't want to risk it, so I decided to return home for the night. On days 28 through 30, I returned to the overworld. Luckily, there was no more rain, so I was good to go. Time to see where this map takes me. I followed Neptuno's map to a giant coliseum area. At the center, there was a battle commencing. A rockbender was tearing it up, flinging rocks at opposition. Whoa! I want to do that too!
The boulder challenges anyone who wishes to fight him.
I stepped up to the ring. I'll do it!
What made you want to challenge the boulder?
Because I wish to learn earthbending.
Well, you will have to defeat the boulder in combat first.
The fight began. I shot a flurry of fireballs, as well as used my trident to send attacks from afar.
It'll take more than that, little Blaze.
The boulder returned with a huge rock attack that took out a ton of my health. I was no match. Ah!
Although you were defeated, the boulder is still impressed by your skills. The boulder will train you, just as the true Blaze did for the boulder.
Wait, you're one of the apprentices? That's perfect! On days 31 through 33, my training in earthbending with the boulder began. First, I started with agility training and dodged multiple boulders and rocks thrown my way. Next, I tried to learn how to lift small rocks, but it was a lot tougher than I thought. Come on, rock! Move!
You gotta be steady and strong. Rock is a stubborn element. If you're gonna move it, you gotta be like a rock yourself.
Be the rock? But I'm literally made of fire. I focused harder and actually lifted the rock from the ground. I did it! For my final test, I had to lift a large boulder. I took in all my previous training and focus until I managed to rip one from the ground beneath me. I sent it flying forward, with me on top. Woohoo!
Great work, Max. The boulder is pleased with your progress.
Thank you, Boulder Sir.
Take this. It will help with your new earthbending powers.
Thanks.
As well as this map, it leads to the next apprentice, one that will help you master light.
Thank you.
Also, this helmet. You need a hard head to bend earth.
Thanks?
Also, take this string.
Okay, please stop. With my training complete, I headed back home to rest. On days 34 through 38, I made it back to the Nether. I built onto my Nether base, destroying the non-Nether brick parts. After, I added in a kitchen, fit with a furnace, crafting table, and chest. I also constructed a simple bridge. Netherlicious! I then made some torches and placed them all around the base. After that, I went out exploring, finding a Nether jungle, which was full of golden vines. On my way back home, I was jumped by a group of wither skeletons.
Hey, weirdo. So let me ask, do you have your own orbit?
I ignored them, going in with my trident. They didn't expect my power, so they all dropped pretty easily. And stay down. Upon their death, they dropped a map to my dad's apprentice's base. I'll have to check this out soon. After that, I headed back home. On days 39 through 41, I began to build an overworld base. Might as well have a home in both dimensions. As I finished building, I was approached by a creeper. Ah! Don't hurt me! Oh, okay. Then what up? I followed the creeper and he led me to a creeper city. This city must be on the verge of total destruction at all times. I continued to follow the creeper until he took me to the king of the city.
Hello, Max. My messengers have told me of your business, and I wanted to inform you that we are on your side.
Thank you. Everyone was celebrating when suddenly a crazy creeper approached us.
I won't stand for this alliance. It's happening, so tough luck. Not if I can help it.
The crazy creeper started to explode everything around him, destroying parts of the city in the process. You're not gonna get away with this! I jumped into battle and began to attack the intruder. With all my new training under my belt, he was quickly getting overwhelmed by my attacks.
I'd rather die inside the flames.
Then die! I slayed the creeper and saved the king.
Thank you, Max. Take this.
He gave me a dormant creeper spore, which made me immune to explosion damage. He also gave me a statue to remember them by. This is sweet. Thanks. I returned back to my Nether base and rested for the night. On days 42 through 44, I stayed in the overworld and started to build a garden outside my base. Now I'll have all the food I need. After wrapping up, a sheep ran up to me frantically. Of course! I followed the sheep and found their family surrounded by fire. Oh no! I have to put this fire out fast, before it spreads. I started putting out the fire as fast as I could, until I created a pathway for the sheep to escape. Well, you're all welcome to stay at my overworld base. After that, we all went home. On days 45 through 48, I built some fences and began to build a small pen for the sheep back at the base. No problem. Now that the sheep were settled in, I decided to follow the map that the boulder had given me. Light apprentice, here I come! I traveled through multiple biomes, until finally arriving at a temple. Inside was Barako the Sun Chief and his light-bending apprentice. Here goes nothing. I tried to enter, but one of the guards stopped me. I'm here to learn how to harness the power of the sun. The guard led me into Baracco's throne room, where he placed me before his presence. Please, sir, allow me to learn the ways of the sun.
No can do, Max. You're not ready yet.
Well, how can I become ready?
I'll give you a mission to prove your worth. Slay the ice dragon of the north and bring me back proof of its demise. Then I will teach you the ways of the sun.
I won't let you down. After that, I went back home to make the necessary preparations. On days 49 through 51, I knew I needed to seek out the ice dragon. But first, I wanted to do a few things. At my overworld base, I asked if I could shear the sheep. Thanks! This wool will come in handy for a little project I have in mind. Next, I harvested my crops from my garden. Lastly, I decided to go mining and even found diamond. It's my lucky day! I quickly used my new materials to craft some diamond boots. Don't ask how I'm wearing these. With my task complete in the overworld, I returned to the Nether. When I arrived, Hoagie was waiting for me. I've missed you too, buddy. Oh, and watch this! I showed off my new earthbending skills, as well as my trident. Hoagie told me he had something for me too, and gave me sunflowers and orange tulips. Where'd you get these? With the flowers Hoagie gave me, I was able to dye my wool and start on my giant Blaze statue. I thought it was best to start with the head. This is gonna be a weird one. After I completed my work on the statue, Hoagie and I added onto the base together, continuing the bridge and building a room connected to it. As we were wrapping the build, an Enderman walked up to us. More the merrier. On days 52 through 54, I set off to kill the ice dragon of the north. On my way, I was stopped by a villager.
Don't go much further. A dragon lives nearby.
I know, I'm going to kill him. The villager was ecstatic. He was so thankful.
If you're able to slay him, our village will throw a party in your honor.
Then you better start buying some party hats. I pressed onwards towards the dragon until I finally arrived at their lair.
Your days of tyranny end here, foul beast.
I've ruled this land for millennia.
Well, not anymore. The battle began. The dragon quickly took to the skies and began to use her ice breath on me. You're not the only one who can fly.
Not if you can't move.
Her frost breath left me paralyzed momentarily. However, my blaze body thawed me back out. I used the power of my trident to battle her in the air. After a fierce battle, I managed to push through and slay the dragon. Fire always beats ice. Upon her death, I took her skull. Perfect! I'll show this to Baracco. On days 55 through 57, I stopped by my overworld base. I harvested the crops and sheared the sheep. Afterwards, I headed back to the Nether to check on the other base. While there, I continued the statue, finishing the head and adding the bottom blaze rods around it. This is by far the most complicated statue yet. Looking at my blaze statue reminded me of the one I received from the King Creeper. I placed it in my base to signify our alliance. After placing the Creeper statue, a strange blaze walked up to me.
Your father needs to speak with you.
Nah, I'll pass.
Come with me, traitor, or your only other option will be death.
Bring it on! The Blaze and I charged at one another, and the fighting began! Despite his weird looks, he fought very similarly to other Blazes. He flew up to send fireballs at me below. However, the power of my elements were too much for him. After a long fight, I put the Blaze down. Upon his death, he dropped a note for my dad. My dearest son, my powers grow more each day. In due time, they will exceed all of your failed master's strength. Ask them about it. Soon, my flames will transcend all dimensions. I needed to visit a master soon and ask them what this note means. On days 58 through 61, I headed to the overworld to show Baracco the dragon skull. On the way, I passed a creepy looking graveyard. Well, this is just horrible. I spotted a skull and decided to mine it. All of a sudden, I started to hear freaky noises all around me, and ghosts and ghouls started rising from their graves. Ah!
You desecrated our eternal resting grounds, and for that, you must die.
Or maybe we just forget all about this? The mobs didn't listen, swarming all around me. I had no choice but to battle them. They weren't insanely powerful, but they had me beat in numbers. Luckily, I could fly, being able to fly away and rebuild my health. Unluckily, so could they. Ah! After a long fight, I killed all the ghosts and ghouls. Woo! That was a close one. After that, I kept traveling. By morning, I had reached Baracco's temple. Here you go, Master.
My boy, congratulations! That dragon is, or should I say, was, a fierce competitor.
So what does this mean? Will you train me?
Yes, I will. We'll start first thing tomorrow.
On days 62 through 65, I started my training with Barako.
First, to understand the sun, you must feel the sun.
I can't feel anything.
Less thinking, more feeling. Absorb the sun's energy.
I did as the master said, and I really started feeling it. It was beautiful.
Good work, Max. Now we can begin. Now you must summon a beam of light from the sun. Like this.
I focused on where I wanted it, and blam! I did it! For my final test, I needed to successfully execute a hyper beam.
An abundance of energy must be stored to perform this attack, Max.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. I harnessed the power of the sun and shot out a massive beam. That's crazy!
Excellent job, Max. You have now mastered the power of the sun.
Barako was pleased with my progress. As a gift, he gave me a sun talisman to help with my new abilities, a pair of diamond leggings, and a totem of undying.
If you wish to continue your journey, find Cindershell, the fire apprentice. She will guide you. Your father's power grows with the solstice. In the coming weeks, you will be too powerful to stop.
He dropped me a map to the fire apprentice located in the Nether. I thanked him for his wisdom and headed home. On my way, I passed the village from earlier to find they were holding a celebration in my honor.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
No worries. This is so unexpected.
Here, take these.
He dropped a ton of cake. I stayed to celebrate with them. On days 66 through 70, I added more to the statue, completing the next layer of blaze rods. One more layer to go. I was still in a building mood, so I decided to expand the base as well. I even added a tower to serve as a beacon of hope. With my base looking awesome, I set off to find nether quartz and ancient debris. During my travels, I heard the roar of a monster in the distance. That doesn't sound good. Better investigate. When I arrived, I saw a small group of piglins being attacked by a giant monster. Hey, what do you want with these piglins?
I'm going to light the overworld ablaze and cook it alive.
Real original, dude. But we can't have two villains trying to light the overworld on fire. We began to fight. The monster was incredibly strong. He shot homing projectiles at me and lunged into the air with jumping attacks. But with my mastery of 3 elements, I was also a threat.
You're just a blaze. How can you defeat me?
Like this! I tricked him into falling into the lava, killing the monster. Afterwards, I went to talk to the piglins. Don't worry, you guys are welcome at my base. The piglins agreed, and we all headed back home. On days 71 through 73, I got the piglins settled in the base. No problem. After that, I remembered the map the Soul Blaze had dropped earlier. Time for some recon. I followed the map until I arrived at a Bastion outpost. Inside was my dad and one of his apprentices.
The preparations for Phase 2 are almost complete.
Excellent! We shall soon kill the true Blaze, or as I know him, my former son.
And then what will happen to me, sir?
You will stand right next to me as I rule the overworld!
After my dad left, I jumped in and confronted the apprentice. You need to stop this, now!
Haha, silly boy! I will kill you, and the Mutant Blaze will become my father!
Huh? You got issues, dude.
You're the one with the issues. The Mutant Blaze is the true hero of all worlds.
My father is what's wrong with blazes.
No, you!
We rushed in to fight each other. Since I could fly, I had the advantage.
Get down here and fight me.
You come up here and fight me. Still though, he was a tough competitor. When he did hit me, they hurt a lot. Ow! After a difficult fight, I was able to slay my dad's apprentice. Booyah! Upon his death, he dropped a map leading to my dad's base. I knew this was valuable information and could help me stop him once and for all. On days 74 through 76, I continued my work on the statue, completing all the blaze rods. Now just the face and texture to go. After I was done, I went to talk to Hoagie. What's up, pal? That could be dangerous. Well, okay. Hoagie and I both went through the portal, and I gave him a brief tour. Glad you like it, buddy. We stayed for as long as Hoagie could and headed back home. But when we arrived, the entire base was on fire. Blazes were everywhere, launching fireballs all over the place.
Your father sends his regards.
That jerk! I began to fight off all the blazes, but even with my new powers, they had me in numbers. They all launched fireballs at me as a group, but I pressed on. Is that the best you got? I started with my trident, throwing it the best I could. Surprisingly, I was pretty accurate. Olympics, here I come! Then I moved on to my earthbending, knocking out blazes from the sky left and right.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Finally, I absorbed the energy from the sun, unleashing a hyper beam that defeated the rest of the Blaze army. It's super effective. After the battle, I put out all the fires at the base. I need to seek out the fire apprentice soon, but for now, I decided to call it a night. On days 77 through 81, I decided to find the Cinder Shell to improve my fire abilities. On the way, I mined some more netherrack. I continued to travel through the nether until arriving at the Cinder Shell's domain.
I've been waiting for you.
How did you know I was coming?
We apprentices of the one true blaze can communicate through the spirit realm.
So you'll train me?
Yes, my son.
My training began. First, I worked on my aim by shooting fireballs at targets. Next, I improved my resistance by standing in fire. Resist pain? For my final test, the master gave me a demonstration.
Watch this.
She started to fight some mobs with a sword, and they burst into flames. Whoa! She tossed me a sword.
Now it is your turn. Harness your internal flame. Take a deep breath and let it ignite.
I followed her instructions and took a deep breath. Hoglins came barreling down the hill, and I was able to unleash a strike that made them burst into flames. I did it!
Excellent job, son.
Thank you so much. With my training complete, I headed back home. On days 82 through 86, I added the texture to the Blaze statue. Thank goodness I can fly. After building though, I was suddenly transported. What the? I was in the spirit realm with my master surrounding me.
We wanted to congratulate you on the completion of your training, Max.
We knew you could do it.
Thanks, guys.
Now that you've mastered all the elements, it's time.
Time for what? My masters began to combine all their spectral energy. What is happening? With all their powers combined, they transformed me into a mutant blaze. Whoa! As a mutant blaze, I now had 25 hearts.
Your dad's power is almost at maximum. Once you settle into your new form, you need to eliminate him.
Yes, ma'am. After that, I was teleported back to my base. On days 87 through 90, I worked on the face of the statue. Now, the Blaze statue is officially complete. Because of my new form, I was in a good mood, so I started adding on to the nether base. I added some additional rooms, just in case anyone needs to seek shelter here. This place is looking awesome. After that, I went to the overworld, expanding the base there as well. Sweet! Suddenly, I heard a loud explosion. What the? I decided to investigate. After some searching, I found the largest forest fire yet. How is this possible? It seemed to go on for miles and miles. While looking around, I spotted a pig surrounded by flames. I swooped down and picked him up, taking him to safety.
Thanks so much! Someone just like you was just here, starting these fires.
My dad has officially gone too far. It was time to stop him, once and for all. On days 91 through 93, I went mining, finding diamonds. Woohoo! I used it to make myself a diamond chestplate. After that, I went back to the nether base, crafting a full iron armor set for Hoagie. He needed protection too. I gave him the armor, telling him something big was coming. I'm gonna stop my dad and set this world free.
Are you sure about that?
Of course we are!
I'd go check on the overworld if I were you.
The blaze flew off before I could give him a piece of my mind. I'll be back soon, buddy. I rushed off, scared of what was happening in the overworld. On days 94 through 98, I found the overworld completely ablaze. Oh my god! Even Creeper City was on fire. I went down to talk to the king and see if everything was alright.
We're alright for now, but we can't hold out much longer.
I told him I would fix it, putting out as much of the fire as I could. After that, I continued traveling, shocked at how much fire there actually was. I then headed to Baracos, hoping the flames hadn't reached his temple. When I got there, the mutant blaze was floating over Baraco. My master seemed badly injured.
Your light magic won't help you now, Baraco. The light guides us all, especially your exiled son. I have no son.
In a rage, the mutant blaze struck down Baraco, killing him. No! I tried to fight my dad, but he was too strong.
Nice try, kid.
After that, the mutant blaze flew away. I was hurt, but flew back home to prepare. I was enraged. It was time to end this. On day 99, I gathered a ton of food for battle. Goodbye, everyone. When I return, my dad will be defeated. I traveled onwards, following my map until finally arriving at the Blaze headquarters. Let's end this! I burst through the entrance, ready to kick some butt. However, a swarm of minions were inside waiting. They outnumbered me and were also powerful. I used my trident and earthbending to hit the enemies from afar, and my hyper beam and sword against those who dared to get close. For honor! I made my way through the halls, using all the elements at my disposal to fend them off. But even so, they ended up killing me. No, this can't be it. Suddenly, I was revived thanks to the Totem of Undying. Whoa, that was close. Thanks, Baracco. I finished the last of them off, but I would now have to defeat my dad without any second chances. Time to keep moving. On day 100, I arrived at a giant nether portal, but my dad was nowhere to be found. Oh no, this isn't good. Where are you, Dad? I decided to travel through the portal in hopes of finding him. On the other side, I found my dad floating there, patiently waiting in the overworld.
So, you came to see the end of the world after all, my son.
You don't have to do this. It's not too late.
Foolish boy, this is my destiny, and unfortunately for you, you're not part of it. So, you must die.
God, you're a terrible dad. The fight began. I used every element I could to take down my dad. He was tough.
The time creeps closer, boy. The summer solstice is almost here, and I will soon be all-powerful. No one will be able to stop me.
I won't let you get the chance. With all my powers flowing through me, I used the power of the sun to defeat the mutant blaze. I did it!